just amazing the way it got started. It was the Council on Aging that I was involved with and the Community Action Program applied for a very small grant from the Administration on Aging. And there was no staff, no board of directors, and we decided to go out and determine exactly who these people were that were in need. And in that process, we went to 10 different churches to try to determine where we could possibly start a very small meal program. And we had no staff, as I say, and every church had their own needs and couldn't find a place for us. And then I was referred to an individual who was the school lunch supervisor in another town, and she had moved to Greenville, and it was June Durham. And so I solicited her assistance to try to get this thing started. And eventually she became the first director of the Meals on Wheels. But it was a very, very small, low-key operation out of a borrowed kitchen. And then when we finally determined that there was one church who was willing to take us, that was Westminster Presbyterian Church, which I was a member of, and several other people who were active in this project were members. And so we began with one staff person and very few volunteers, with a few meals a day.
I personally benefit from Meals on Wheels because I do a lot of volunteer work in Greenville, but a lot of the work I do is planning or working and helping things that will take place in the future. And the personal benefit that I get is because I get to see the impact I make. I walk away knowing that I feel good about what I've done. And the other benefit I get is that the fact that I know that I am raising a future generation of volunteers for our community. Volunteering with Meals on Wheels, it's almost embarrassing how easy it is because I can fit this into my schedule. It's so flexible. If I need to get there first thing in the morning, I can. If one of my children has an appointment, I can do it after. They are wonderful. If you cannot make it for your scheduled day, they work with you. Jan, the volunteer coordinator, is amazing and will help you. And because of that, I have not ever, after having 2 children, I've not ever let this route go, and I won't let this route go.
Well, a friend of mine told me about it and referred me. And it was towards the last few months of my wife's life. And actually I had not been very attentive when it came to cooking, and I had dropped from a low 180s to in the 150s is a kind of indication of that. So I suppose he thought that it was getting pretty important for me to get some help, and referred me to Meals on Wheels, and their services went far beyond anything I would have imagined, because it was more than just food. It was more than that meal each day that we would build our eating habits around. And what I was looking forward to, because of the stress of that time, in sort of the absence of seeing people, because I was as housebound as she was, seeing the people who delivered it, and they never rushed the delivery. They would stop and chat, and that was really appreciated. I feel I have incurred a great debt to them, and it exposed me to some extremely generous people. People that I just didn't realize were in such numbers, or at least the people in Meals on Wheels are just a remarkable group. I never came across one that was not personally concerned, and I would imagine that they are filling in a need that simply is not filled by others. It's just an indispensable service.